You know, it's not unusual that I meet somebody that would like to retire, but they're not quite there yet. And the question is, do they keep working for another 3, 5, 7 years until they get to where they want to be? Or do they take the leap now and maybe take a part-time job where they can work from home, where they have time flexibility, they have location flexibility, and they can start the retirement. And then if things go their way, they can say, you know what, I'm fine. Or, you know, if things don't go their way, maybe the market doesn't do quite so well, or things are a little more expensive than they thought, they can keep working a job that's time and geographically agnostic. So these are a handful of jobs that I think pay pretty well, that you can do from home, and you don't need a college degree. So let's jump in, and be sure to stay to the end, because I'm going to give you a job that I guarantee you that nobody's thought of before. I'm going to mention a job that you've never thought of before, that there's a lot of demand for, and I think you could find super interesting. Okay, so let's start off. So the first one that I want to talk about is a social media coordinator. And you know, if you're in your 50s, if you're in your early 60s, you might be saying, hey, Azul, you know, isn't that a job for a young person? And yes, of course, there's a lot of young people that do a job like that. It pays pretty well. It's about $50,000 plus. But you know what? There's a lot of small businesses that want to use social media to promote their services, to promote their goods and their services to other businesses and other individuals. And you can learn social media marketing from fairly low cost programs online. Like Udemy, Udemy. You can pick up a course for like $20 to learn that. And, you know, maybe your first job's not paying $50,000 a year. Maybe your first job is paying $15 an hour, but you start to learn those skills. Another one is a online executive assistant, right? And again, yeah, we generally think of that as a job that, you know, a hotshot out of undergrad does, to kind of be mentored by a CEO. But, you know, a lot of these company owners are our age, and they'd love to work with somebody our age that knows how to get things done. And, you know, the executive assistant, you know, a lot of these, particularly the virtual assistants, are going to pay $40,000 a year plus. And I think you have a good shot at being able to do that. So that's another position. Another one is being a bookkeeper. You know, if you've always been good with numbers, maybe if you have an accounting degree, even if you don't have an accounting degree, there's an organization called the National Bookkeepers Association, and they have like a certification course that you can take for less than $1,000. It's NBA, National Bookkeepers Association. And at the end of the day, in order to get certified, you need to take a multiple choice test. You need to get 37 out of the 50 questions correct. And the certification, they'll do the certification. They offer a course. And, you know, bookkeepers can make decent money doing that. And again, it's something that now with technology you can do from home, and you don't need a college degree. You can get through this course in a couple weeks. So that's another thing to think about. I mentioned executive assistant. Related to that is a virtual assistant that tends to be for U.S. citizens, paying $15 to $25 an hour. You know, you're probably going to start off at the lower end of that, but hopefully move up over time. I've mentioned this in my other videos. Another one is somebody that does content writing, right? Again, this is for businesses that want to promote their goods and services. They'll have somebody that talks about and writes about their company and their products and their services. So that's another one that you can do. And then, you know, speaking of certifications, there's a certification for project coordinators. And there's an organization called CAPM for project managers. And those jobs pay pretty well. And that's really, you know, working on projects and keeping projects on time and under budget. And again, there's a fairly strong demand for people doing that online and working from home. And the nice thing is, again, there's another certification. So if you can get the certification, that's going to give you the credentials. That's going to give you the background to get going. in this business. It also, you're going to be working with clients, and I think, as we get older, we get better at, relationships, and we understand how to keep the client's always right and how to keep the client happy. So again, the organization that does the certification there is CAPM. And again, all of these that I'm mentioning do not require a college degree. There's really no experience necessary. You're going to be on the lower end of the pay scale while you're building up your experience. But if you're in a situation where you're looking at, you'd love to be able to retire, you'd love a change of pace, you'd like to be able to travel, you'd like geographic flexibility, you'd like to be a little more time agnostic. Some of these jobs, like a bookkeeper, do you need to work 8 to 5 U.S. hours? You might. But there's also probably some jobs where somebody would say, you know what, we just file all these expenses and we just need them entered, and we need somebody keeping after our books. So you might have a lot more time flexibility than what you would think. Another good one, and this can really pay good money, is inside sales. And inside sales is really where the leads come in. I mentioned earlier about doing some writing and being a content generator to build business leads for a company. Well, an inside salesperson's job is to speak with, to address and the inside leads, and basically, I'm struggling for words here, basically close the people that are calling to get more information on the company, right? So the content writer is doing the marketing, and the inside salesperson, it's not like you're knocking on doors or cold calling. You've got leads calling in for information. So, depending on how good you are at that, you can make really, really good money. I mean, you're on the revenue generating side of that. And, you learn the basics maybe through a Udemy course, you read some books, maybe you sign up for a $500 or $1,000 course. And then the rest of it's on the job training. And if you enjoy meeting people, if you've done sales in the past, or, you're just willing to learn and put yourself out there, that can pay very, very well. Okay, I mentioned I was going to share a job that I can pretty much guarantee nobody watching this video has thought about it, but I can tell you there's a lot of demand for it. Before I go there, I do have a request. As the kids say, thumbs for likes and subs for love and comments for Azul. I love reading your comments. So let's talk about the next one, which is a content manager for somebody that does YouTube. Regular viewers of my channel know that I pump out a lot of videos. I do probably more videos than anybody else that you watch. And there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And what I really like doing is, thinking through what are the topics that are going to be helpful, thinking through what are the points that I want to share, filming the videos, and interacting with you, my audience, my community in the comment section. So that's what I really enjoy, but there's some work behind the scenes, making sure there's a description for the videos, making sure when I point and say, be sure to watch this video up here, that it's called a card pops up. That's what a content manager does. And, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and most of us need help doing stuff like that. So that's something to look into as well. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, being able to retire sooner as opposed to postponing retirement, having these jobs as a safety net for you, where maybe you can take the leap sooner and get 3, 5, 7 more years in retirement. That's incredibly valuable. And then if the stock market cooperates with you, if you do well at some of these part-time jobs, maybe you do it for a couple of years and you say, you know what, I'm okay now. And so you're all set. So if you enjoyed today's video, I know you're going to enjoy this video up here where I talk about average income in retirement, and this video down here where I talk about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.